let's go ahead and do it this way. Give me a blueprint that outlines specifically what we're going to do for these kids. Give me the money on a school-by-school basis. Judge Rhodes came out and said, we need $83 million for roofs, for windows, for repairs, to remediate the mold, to get out the mushrooms and get out the water problems. You know, Judge Rhodes, you're probably right. But unfortunately, let me see it on paper. What schools, where's their addresses, who's in charge, who's going to start the work, when's it going to be finished? All of these things need to be on paper. Why? I want accountability.
That's
I want
right.
accountability. I want somebody to go in there and do it in a timely manner to get those kids back in the building.
All right. That's not a problem. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. 2, I want to make sure that the money's right. So we've got real appraisals, real proposals, because the rip-off money came from them buildings. People lining their pockets, people stuffing the money to their brother-in-laws and sister-in-laws, and you got 12 people going to jail as a result of it.
That's right.
Now.
That's right.
And then here, on top of it, when you're buying supplies, don't leave it to everybody. Leave it to one person. Buying the supplies for the schools so that we have a checks and balance with that person and that person only.
All
We had
right.
12 to 15 people buying supplies. Nobody knew where the supplies were or how much they spent. This is insanity.
That is insanity. Yeah, I appreciate you getting up with this one. I appreciate you just, again, asking them to give us a 5-year, 10-year, 15, 20-year plan, give us a budget, give us a plan of action. Absolutely, and that's not asking too much at all. Absolutely, we want to educate those kids. We want to make them, want them to have a productive life so that they won't be, at the end of the day, they won't be somebody that's going to be dependent on the state. So
Right on. And on top of it, when we get old,
yes,
we got good stewards of our community taking care of it.
yeah. All right, so Phil, want to ask you, one of the panelists here, and then we're gonna have you on again,
Yes.
Senator.
Does that 46,000 students include the kids that are in the charter schools?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't know that. You're talking about just public schools?
You're talking 46,000 in the public schools. That's
Okay.
correct.
All right. so
Okay,
that's
and
separate.
then there's a separate number that are in the charter schools?
I don't have that number. I only have public schools because
Okay.
that's the bill.
Okay.
The bill we're dealing with public schools.
Listen, thanks a lot. We definitely got to get
Yeah.
you back and get a little bit more time. I think you can explain some of this and get a better grasp of
And you
it.
know what?
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm all about giving back to this community because I'll tell you
Absolutely.
why.
Mhm.
We started, every one of us started in Detroit. That's where it all was. That's where it all happened.
Yes.
And to go in there, it makes you sad and sick in your stomach, and you got a hole in your heart because you're looking at the city and you're saying, what the hell happened down here?
Yeah,
It's
well,
just wrong.
I can
Just
tell you
wrong.
what happened, but I don't want to.
That's for another. That's for
But-
another time, another show. Yep.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
All
but-
right. Thank you
All
very
right,
much,
guys, listen,
Senator.
you have a great weekend, and let's keep up the faith, okay?
All right, keep up the faith. We're going to have you on again. All right, thank you very much. All right, here, let me get to Derek. Can you get our next call? Is that Jimmy from Manchester on the line, please? Good morning, Jimmy.
Morning. Good morning. How are you today?
Good, good. How you doing?
Yes, I was hoping to get this on before the representative was on, see if he knew anything about this. But there is a new policy being pushed in Michigan. That's a policy, not a law, that would, if your child goes to school and then identifies as a different sex while they're at the school. I'm not going to use the word gender. I'm going to be politically correct.
Yeah.
That the school may not, under any circumstances, inform the parent
Right.
that that's what's going
Yeah,
on.
that's something through the Michigan Department of Education. They're pushing this right now.
Yes, okay, you know about
So
it.
we know about that. Yes, we
Yeah,
reported on
okay.
that. We're gonna work on getting a little bit more information on that. I did put in a call to somebody in that department to see if they would come on. They still going to get back with me. I've been waiting. So
This isn't really about this transsexual business either.
Yes.
This is about them telling you you're a terrible parent and
Yes.
you need us.
Well, it's
That-
about the
that's what
state
it's
taking over all aspects of our lives, and that's why I remained silent when Representative Lucido was on, because I have a disagreement with the basic premise that the state should be telling us how to educate our children, because I don't believe that I have confidence that the men and women who have been elevated into high places are made of any special clay that allows them to tell us how we should raise our children. And you're absolutely right, Jimmy. For the state to say that the schools are not allowed to tell the parents when their child is exhibiting a mental dysfunction, that is absolutely absurd, and I think we ought to shut down the public education system. I am sorry, but that's the way I feel about it, and that's why I remained silent when Representative Lucido was on the air.
All right, not a problem. All right, thanks a lot, Jimmy. Did you want to finish? Did you have a closing comment?
No, that's fine. Thank you. You guys have a wonderful day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, go ahead, Phil. Phil had something. Go ahead and continue, Phil.
The Fourth Amendment of the Constitution said the United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government. Now, this is something that we are going to explore a little bit more because one thing, we have a lot of Republicans talking about they are constitutionalists, but where are the constitutionalists when they don't really advocate for this kind of thing?
Yeah.
If this was enforced, the Republican form of government, and it says here the Constitution does not explain exactly what constitutes a Republican form of government, but that means it's left up to the Congress to determine it. Mm-hmm. That's why those guys saying that they're conservatives, we need to hold them to this Constitution. We need to make sure that is the priority, because the priority of this government and the priority of the one that may replace them, Hillary, they have a list of things that they wanted to do. And that list included this homosexual agenda. Mm-hmm. And they got it and they worked it to perfection. They've almost torn this country apart. What we need to do, we got the document here. We got to make our representatives live up to it. Mm-hmm. And if they don't, we throw them out on their behinds.
Well, right now, the rule of law is being nullified. It's being purged right now. We can see with this community organizer leading the way, and so we see that it's just trickling down into our cities, our state. I can't believe it's so many people right now living in darkness. I mean, it's just bizarre at this time right now where we at. Absolutely, we want to hold them to that, hold them to be accountable. We want to hold people to be accountable. Again, we need good folks. We need good, strong folks, good folks of faith to go into these positions,
exactly right,
and take over these positions.
Exactly right.
For some reason, I noticed that, but when they get there, they find out that there's an old boys club that's going on, and there is a machine.
And the way we hold them to it is that it's all written down here. It says, listen to this. It's required that ratification of only 9 states in order to get this established. It's 14 to overrule it. But the Federalist Papers give us insight into the intent of the founders. That's what the Supreme Court is supposed to do. They are supposed to take into consideration the intent of the founders. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Do you think Elena Kagan and Ruth Buzzy Ginsburg are concerned about what the intent of these founders are? Their intent is to change the Constitution every chance they get, and that's what we have to stop. And most of our people keep worrying about, well, if Hillary gets in there, she's going to do this to the court, that to the court. What we need to be talking about is defining the role of the court.
Yes.
They don't have any guidelines, and if they don't follow the guidelines of the Constitution, we should be willing to throw their behinds out of that office.
Yeah,
they got the power to do it.
Yeah, last weekend when I was not here, I was at the Russell Kirk Center for Cultural Renewal. I'm a member of the Michigan Conservative Union, and we believe that in order to change public policy, we have to change public opinion.
That's right.
And so we have to be educated on things such as conservatism, rule of law, religious liberty, all those things that are so important to our foundational Western civilization, and that's where we've failed. So hopefully we will start this invigorated debate on teaching the people how it is that the law is supposed to be used to protect us against injustice. That's all. The law is not supposed to get into education because it doesn't have any special well of resources that gives these people some kind of greater knowledge about how we should educate our children. The law is supposed to protect us against injustice, and that is it.
And listen to this. Listen to what the Constitution says. It protects the majority from effectively being ruled or held captive by the minority.
Isn't that interesting?
And that's what we
now, when I hear that, when I hear that,
it's a small number of people right now. Right
exactly
now manipulating it and pushing us and bullying.
And
they always talking about bullying.
Yeah.
Well, they are bullying.
They are the bullies.
A small number.
And so what we have got to do is we've got to get we got a chance at a new start.
Yeah.
Let's get the education going.
Yep.
And let's get a purpose here. Let's not just go into the election. If we win, then we come up and talk about, well, we gotta make sure that the Supreme Court. We gotta make sure that Supreme Court is defined and what
ahead of time.
Yeah, and they're not telling us in order to get reform we got to amend the Constitution when all they have to do is change one person's mind and they amend the Constitution.
Right. We have to
all
defend
right, folks,
the Constitution.
we have a minute left. I'm going to let you. Mayor, go ahead. What you want to say?
I just simply want to say that the worst thing that can happen to a good cause is not to be skillfully attacked, but to be ineptly defended. Let's start defending our Constitution.
Right. That's right.
All right.
Fighting for it.
All right. Well, pray again. According to 1 Timothy 2:1, pray for all those in authority that we may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty, so that because all men to be saved. God wants all men to be saved and come into the knowledge of the truth. Folks, we'll see you next week.
The Wham Talk 1600 listeners to continue the roundtable discussions by mailing correspondence to Art of Michigan, Post Office Box 135, Garden City, Michigan 48135.
Or follow Phil, Del, and Janice at artofmichigan.com. You can also send emails to artofmichigan@hotmail.com. And most of all, continue to listen every Saturday and tell a friend.